Have you ever fished with a feather like this here? Today, you're coming with me to fish for saddle breams. We will go with a kayak. As you can see, I have equipped it a bit this morning, which is a little bit hard to do because I still have to get used to it. On one rod we will use a feather, and on the other we will use the classic white glue. This is an incredible bait. This is my first time ever on a pedal kayak, and I don't really know how it works. The most difficult step is the one before entering the water. In fact, you have to prepare everything, mount the depth sounder, put the rods, tie everything that can fall into the water, and only at the end you can start. It's a bit of a pain, but it's worth it. Saddle breams are unique fish. In fact, they hunt early in the morning or in the afternoon. Today, I want to try using a feather on one rod and a glue on the other. The baits have to work about 30-40 meters away from me. This obviously works for boats, and I hope it works for kayaking as well. So the rods are fishing. I'm gonna fish on what it is, let's call it a type of shoal. We have a rod here and another rod there. Let's see if anything eats.
Eccola qua, primo pesce.
After less than 2 minutes, the first saddle bream eats, obviously on the feather.
Incazzato. È un'occhiata, è un'occhiata.
It's very small and on the feather. The first fish after less than 2 minutes. Today, an incredible day awaits me. Somebody told me, forget the first one, keep towing, and in fact now I continue. I'm going over the place where I got the first one. In fishing, everything seems easy, but in reality it is not. In fact, I passed on the same spot about 10 times, but nothing. Saddle breams no longer eat, and I decide to explore even a little further offshore, but nothing. The time has come to move to a shoal I know, about a mile from the coast. Well, I am moving on because they are no longer eating under the coastline. The choice seems right. In fact, I see something moving on the surface. Here they are. Here I saw them jump. Let's see if they eat. I don't have time to think that immediately a saddle bream eats, this time under a glue.
Guardate che bella occhiata.
Another nice saddle bream, this one ate under a glue. And while I try to unhook the first one, another one eats on the feather. It's not a question of luck, but as you may have noticed, I never stopped, therefore keeping the feathers in the water. My gosh, they're eating very well. Small coastal trolling is not difficult to practice. Speed at 2 knots, the right bait, and above all, the right distance from the boat. On the right rod, I'm using a feather. As you can see, the feather while swinging must be fairly neutral, it must not make too many trails, there is a red thread, and as you can see, it moves quite well. On the other hand, a classic white and blue glue in the smallest size. So right there, there is a seagull that just appeared, and in fact, it's the area where I first caught them. I want to try to review the same point because the current is also essential.
Eccola, eccola. Forza, forza, forza. C'è o non c'è? Non c'è? Eccola!
You always have to help them a little when they're not eating. Did you see what I did? The saddle bream was eating, but she wasn't convinced. So I increased the speed of the bait by moving it a bit, and she immediately ate again. At this point, I understand where they're eating, and the game becomes even easier. As I look at the saddle bream, I realize that the other rod has moved, but there's nothing. Ah, damn it, here he cut everything with those little teeth. Unfortunately, this happens too. The bigot saddle breams swallow the bait, and often, with the sharp teeth, they manage to cut the thread. That's why you should always keep a spare bait on hand. I changed the rule, the other one was hidden before, damn it, I left the clutch too closed. They are exactly unfit fish. Look here. What you can't see is actually a fairly extensive feed of small fish. I don't know if they're saddle breams or something else, but nothing is eating, and it's strange. So, I have been paddling for a couple of hours, and I must say that I'm not dying of fatigue. With the other kayak, I was dying really badly, but with the paddles is certainly easier now. The waves of the boat. Maybe I have to give a little bit more thread. If the fish does not eat, you always have to change something.
Eccola, eccola, eccola. Andiamo.
What the hell is this? Oh, it's a little mackerel. They weren't eating because I actually discovered that I was fishing too close to the kayak, maybe about 10 meters. Another thing I'm learning is that I think I have to put a small mark on the 30, 40 meters because before, and in fact I was wrong, I was fishing at 10 meters. I took that mackerel, probably it was part of the fit fishes, but surely there are some saddle breams. Look, they are certainly mackerels.
Fish insolchiate.
But when there are small preys, there is not only one type of fish, and surely saddle breams are here to browse.
Eccola. Guardate. Bel schiavone. Questa è veramente notevole, eh?
At this point, I immediately dropped the fishing lines back in the water. We must not miss the right moment. Oh wow, what a bite! Even there, look, look!
Doppietta, aiuto! Questa è grossa, eh? Un occhiatone. Mamma, fantastica questa.
Here too I try not to stop to prevent the other saddle bream from being unhooked. By now, I have taken so many saddle breams that perhaps it's time to go home. Guys, it's 9, it's time to go home now. Saddle breams have stopped eating a bit, but it was predictable. Then they will start again in the afternoon after 2 or after 3. Or maybe I got one here? So the ragu has given me a lot of satisfaction, but also the feather, which obviously is always a deadly bait that is quite cheap. You just have to learn how to make them. Now I'm going home. I'm not as dead as with the pedal kayak, and above all, it's very quiet and can be towed. I hope you had fun, guys. We will see in the next video.